Hello Blender folks, welcome back. I'm Epistemic-gnomes and this is a continuation of this eyelashes fixing. Hold on, let me check if the... Alright, so there's some issues on the screen. I need to find out a solution for that. Yes, I guess that should be fine. Hold on. Looks like... Where is the chat? Alright, I'm not sure about the live, but I can see the chat, that's what matters. Maybe what you see on the screen is not great, I'll check later. But so, what I found out the last time, and took some time to realize it was wrong, because I have adjusted the rest position of the mesh for the eyelids, like the eyes open, wide open, well, not expressively wide open, but just open, right? Open eyes. And maybe I should bring this, yes, up also. Why not collapse this mesh too? All right. So yeah, so I think it might be worth to make some new adjustments to rest position here, just because it doesn't look good. But the most important thing is that I need to readjust these bones, and for this I believe I have already set these things, so now this will make things easy. Well, I need to have some selections here. There we go. So but first I'll do that. Wait, why it doesn't show here? Strange thing. Oh no, looks like this bone is... Oh, alright, of course. I need to make this selection too. Alright, forgot this one. Now, okay, there's the other side too. We're just gonna hide here and that'll be it. Maybe I could remove, select, Alt H, Control I, remove. That's right, I don't want to deal with the other side right now, so I think I got it messed up. Yeah, so if I do this, these bones are still not removed, so let's remove and add just something for the... just in case I might require this. Okay, assign, hide, select, yes. Okay, so now it's working. Let's use screencast here, and okay, let's start with the let's start with the mesh, right? Small adjustment, no big deal, but can be annoying. So this other mesh in the back, alright, so it's not clear why it is not... The eyes, maybe I had wrong repositioning of them. Yes, it is likely they are a bit too behind, then the mesh auto fixes because it's shrink wrapped to the eye. But yeah, this sounds a bit strange. Maybe I should fix that, so let's make some adjustments here. It's not rotation scale, it's just it is just about why are the... okay, it's the mesh, then face. Okay, here, so not eyebrow, eye surface, yes, this, and also for this I should check the character design. Yes, the grease pencil, I think I have it somewhere. Let's see, grease pencil, where it is, model sheet. Will that appear anywhere? Annotations, item, tools, view, annotations. No, it's no more annotations, it's grease pencil indeed, but where is it? Yeah, I used to use annotation, but then I found out I was always losing it. Oh, of course, there we go. So front, side, three. Okay, so here we go. Needed to unhide here and show on displaying viewports. Alright, so yeah, so we see the eye here on the back view. It's very backwards. So let's try to, it's just the side anyways. Let's try to get these things, and along with the eye surface I have also a few other objects that are related to the eyes that I should move all together. Alright, so I'll lock the body and unlock this other object. So 4 objects, the left and right eye surface mesh objects, then this eye surface ghost, which is invisible. It is just for wait, this thing stays there. Yes, okay, it was on purpose, so I'm not gonna move this one. Well, maybe I should, because maybe there's some alignment. It was directly extruded from or duplicated from the eye. So okay, let's keep it. And then another sort of object, which is a lattice stuff, which we don't see here, but should be. Oh yeah, it is there. Okay, so the lattice is for deforming stuff without affecting the mesh directly on edit mode. So it's as a later solution that I found to make things easier. So okay, we need to move this on. Of course, they are all locked, so just unlock here. It's global that I need. What is happening there? This thing is not following. Maybe it was not selected. No, it still doesn't want to move on. It is, maybe I didn't unlock it. Alright, so forgot. All the others were properly unlocked except that one. Alright, so now yes, we pick everything. I have a difficult time here to spot. Of course, it's in the front. Maybe if I use wire. Yes, this will do. But now, can I see the model sheet? Maybe not. Let's see. Hard time seeing the model sheet. Yes, this object in from the data. If I hide here, I think it won't be respecting the transforms. Yeah, it won't follow. So there are many ways to solve this, but let's see. It needs to go just there, right? Let's try to memorize this positioning. Or is there anything? Okay, it's there's this bone here. Bendy bone can be used as a reference. So let's pick everything, and let's pick everything and let's, okay, of course, but now I do not, oh yes, but I need that, there we go, something like that, finally. Then alright, let's lock everything. Maybe this had some issues about the origins. So this would be just a question of reassessing the origins of the object. So let's see. Certain objects, the origins are okay to be wrong. Let's see, there's many. Okay, one by one. Okay, there's the displacement here, so let's, this one's okay, this one's okay, this one displaced, so set origin to 3D cursor, objects set orange to 3D cursor. This one needs to have its origin there, and this one also object set orange to 3D cursor. That's right, and this doesn't change, fortunately, the position of the mesh. The lattice, it's better that it's a special object, so for some reason it needs to have its own origin arbitrary. Otherwise, scaling it and having it affect the object it is affecting, it is modifying, or the object actually, because I believe this is target of, no, it's not being target of that. Okay, it's just target of that. There, okay, so otherwise this doesn't work very well. Okay, let's go back now and see. Okay, I don't need these things anymore. I can hide them this way. Let's save on a new version, because so this would be September 02 and 70. Yes, eyelash fixes. Now grid pencil, yes, not requiring this anymore also, so you can hide directly from that. Now the eyes are, maybe they are a bit too to the front now, might be strange, I don't know if I exaggerate, but now I need to fix or adjust some stuff here. Yes, there's some confusion on the mesh, so what I'm gonna do is that I'll use this face project and start to make adjustments here on edit mode for this mesh. Alright, I need, this is too much confusion, let's just use the eyes region. Now it is better to work with that. So of course there is there is another, yeah, hold on, this is wrong. There are two edge rings, probably I'm using the wrong one. There's one edge ring which is something at the back. Okay, so it's not this one, it's these ones. These ones, they don't need that. They really, they are called eyelids borders edge ring, so it's a vertex group just for a very specific solution. So let's put them back, even backwards, so that it will be harder to get confused, and we'll also gonna hide this mesh here. It doesn't need to be very precise, provided it got this structure. This is good enough. And yes, we can get it back just as much as we want it. This doesn't matter because it has a shrink wrap modifier to the back of the eyes. So it is relevant though that perhaps it doesn't go right inwards too much. Like it needs to be some sort of parallel to this one, like in a front view. It's not exactly a front view, but I think you got the idea. It cannot be something like that. It must be, it can, but it might be a bit strange. So yes, it needs to be slightly like a ramp inwards, but not too much. And then we can smooth this out. We can also do that and something like that. Alright, this looks good. So what it will do with this shrink wrapping is that it will yes, now we can also hide this mesh. What it will do on edit mode, of course, what it will do is that it will create this shape here, and it will be shrink wrapped behind the eye with we have it here actually. Because it's a vertex group, I have one for the left and one for the right. It is inside shrink wrap that vertex group, eyelids border left. It's just that edge ring that I've hidden before. It goes inside, it shrink wraps onto that surface of the eye, but behind it, inside, that is in the other side, because this is the normals of the eye surface are pointing outwards naturally because of the texture that I need to show. The irises, the pupils, and the scleras. Alright, so this is why it was a bit wrongly positioned, but now I kind of fix it. Now I need to, okay, I've unhid all the vertices. I don't need this. Let's pick my eyes region again. So I'm just working on this. I will enable this and make sure that this include non-edited. So now that it should be snapping these vertices I'm picking onto the eye surface, which is not being edited right now. So I'll leave some space here. Trying to align this somewhat. And I can also do some adjustments on the other ones. I'm just touching right now the latest. I can pick, you see I've marked sharp on this, but actually this could be a mark clear sharp. It could be a mark seam. It would be better. It's even a different material. So yes, and then this could also, instead of so clear sharp, this could all be clear sharp. This could all be different mark seam. This will be maybe it's useless for textures. No, I think it will be useful in case I use textures here. UV mapping I'm probably gonna use, so mark seam. So you understand what's happened. There are three colors here, three materials. There is the skin color here, then there is this darker tone, which is the eyelid skin, and then there is the borders, eyelids border, which is that more inner mesh that is yet another more reddish color. So there are three materials involved here. Okay, so it makes sense to have these. Okay, and here too, it actually makes sense that there are seams and not marked sharp. And I've originally marked sharp just to have a distinction, a mesh distinction, to have it easier, not exactly for any modeling effect. But now with the seams, not only it serves as a visual indicator, it will also be useful for UV texture. So both things in one this time. So what I can do is maybe I can improve this mesh collapsing a lot. Yeah. So I know this. Yeah, I'm snapping to the eye surface, and all these edge rings are edible for this snapping process to the eyelid surface. The only one that what's that? This got outwards. Okay, wrong. I've positioned it wrongly, very wrongly here. Can easily refix. There we go. I cannot do this for the other mesh otherwise, and of course there are subdivision surface modifier, and this is what works. So here now I'm just trying to fix the rest. Yeah, the rest position for this. There's something very wrong here, I guess. Yes, those things got all messed up, right? As I was okay. Yeah, I might have as I was posing everything, probably got something. Yeah, so this is a bit annoying, but it's not that hard. I just okay, and there are the eyelids that I need to fix later. Okay, let's go back. So I'm going to adjust these things. So the logic here is that the first edge loop here, they will be very close, nearly touching. For the I'm just improving and certifying the collapsing effect will be okay. And then I go for the other. Okay, this is already done. Of course, ideally, I should manage to check the character design to see that if that outer border, that one, is really in the correct position. Yeah, I should do that, but there are more important things to fix right now, and maybe I'll have to make a last adjustment by the end, but Okay, these are major fixes. Then if I want to make some minor fixes later, okay. So now I'm not satisfied. Let's with the collapsing here. So let's then this one I'll try to make it approximately the same distance as the previous one, maybe just a bit, and try to align also. This one mostly fine. And this looks, yes, because what I'm doing here, I'm changing the rest position just very slightly, so that as the eyes open we'll have exactly this kind, or well, approximately we'll have this kind of rest pose, right? This kind of rest position where the mesh here, the eyelids mesh, is already mostly collapsed like you see here. And so otherwise I'll have to create this system mechanically with bone constraints and or shape keys, and this can be really more difficult. So instead of having all the trouble with that with those other methods, I'm just already fixing it, solving this problematic of mesh collapsing with the rest position. That means the rest position itself is responsible for these edge rings nearly collapsing, right? Yes, and then I can make these minor adjustments here. It could be better. And then alright, let's keep saving. Here is nearly done, so just here like that. Alright, and these are approaching the end of this part. The bottom part I think is, yes, I can touch this, but not recommended if I do not see the character design, the model sheet. Here we can totally do that in ways. Somewhat, the closest they are, the more precise this will be in terms of collapsing. So worst, especially here perhaps when the eyes open, because there's a lot of space here that might be relevant to collapse. Unnecessary space to be there would be other ways, like but to make this faster, I mean. But this should be fine. I'm nearly finishing that. Alright, and there, yes, here maybe much more collapsed mesh. Here too, let's exaggerate this collapsation here, or collapsing here. Here too. And here also we can have a lot of Alright, so this gives a better idea how the... yeah, alright, let's see now. Okay, so... well, the shapes looks okay. I'm a bit concerned about the position of the eyes. I'm a bit confused that character design right here, but maybe it's the maybe are the colors. I feel like this eye is too protruded. Although the model sheet said something else. Of course, this part perhaps should be protruded. I might have made change to that mesh. So okay, no snapping right now. So maybe instead I can solve this weirdness because of this by adjusting this part of the mesh. Yes. We need to make some protrusion here, then the character design will look good as new or something like that. Yes, then there are some other issues here. I have to make a retake on that too, but what is that? Okay, so apparently there are some mesh here that is very displaced. Let's protrude it also. Maybe I snapped it accidentally. Well, it's not, it's differently from these others. This armature is on the front right now, so it's not helping. I should probably continue this protrusion here. Very sensitive to and this could be wrong in terms of character design. I don't know. Maybe this is the eye surface that got too much protruded anyways. But yeah, it looks I should do this when all the mesh is visible. Let's see. Yeah, it looks a bit too flat over here, but there are some expressions that can be worked out on this region, so this is not so bad, but I should be able to, let's make some small adjustments here. It's like I'm missing mesh geometry here. There are subdivisions, but maybe it could be that I'm missing some to reorganize these shapes. It could be that more mesh geometry, like more subdivision, would make a better job here. I don't know, let's it's looking a bit strange, but maybe it works. I need, hold on, let's try another attempt here. This edge ring, let's smooth that thing out, and let's pick all this face. We cannot pick this face because it contains eyelids vertices which are snapped to the eye surface, so this understandable. I cannot pick that. Then okay, we see already the, I'll save here. Then the rest position for these eyelashes, yes, a bit difficult to spot on right now, but these, instead of sharp, they could also be seams, but let's leave it sharp, so at least it's different. Let's see. Let's make some differentiation here. I mean, distancing this. Well, I can pick the edge ring itself. It was made for this purpose. It's just a single edge ring and this edge loop, and that does the job for the rig that I have here. So even motion, even dynamic motion of this is of course there are subdivisions, but then they will share the same waves of the original vertices. So yes, this is looking good. And then for this one, let's pick that, and then this one should probably, yeah, we should see what we can do here. Yeah, those shapes are very exaggerated. It's just like that. It's the character design. It must be something huge and organic like that. It's difficult sometimes to get it properly. Maybe if I did even some other subdivisions. Maybe here this is, yes, this is, I'm getting some issues. Maybe this should go there. Yeah, because there's a side view. It has got some shape. And there's the front view. So hold on, let me get some vertical thing here, and now the front view is not very good actually to spot what's going on. This could go there. This one maybe yeah, they're suffering interpenetrations because of the protrusion of this part of the orbicularis oculi muscles, or this part of the eye, whatever, this region. And because, of course, yeah, I understand, of course, what's happening is because I've put the last edge ring here too close to the limit. So naturally I cannot push those in these conditions. I cannot push this very well without these terrible interpenetrations, right? I have some clear limits of how I should work on those things. So maybe I can play with some subdivisions, but differently. Maybe I can, yeah, my idea here will be to cheat. Like, I've never done these for particularly this part of the rig, so I mean maybe I could make some extra subdivisions here just on this part so that I could have a better control over, I don't know, this area. So this could go inwards, and there should be some, I don't know if that's safe to do in this rig, but that it makes sense that this would give some more flexibility to the mesh. Yeah, maybe I should extend this even to there. It's just this part, it's just this edge, so it's not something about the whole thing. I don't want to have, it will be more complicated for wave painting. So this is a very character design related thing. So this could go inwards and push that. So if this doesn't completely break the deforms, the wave painting, I mean if this works along with the wave painting, that's great. Let's see now. Okay, so that it became slightly more complicated mesh, but if these extra tweaks they solve these intricate shapes, then that's good enough. What's happening there? Okay, so maybe this requires to go forward. Just okay, so I'm really not understanding what's going on there. It's like everything got okay, I see this. Let's push this forward a lot. Okay, and there are still interpenetrations. Yeah, a lot of interpenetrations, so let's push this forward. Yeah. Then let's smooth this out, push, hold on, this one forward. Alright, but it needs more also reposition here. Yes. Okay, looks like it is getting some effect. Yes, finally I think we are getting it. Yeah, and I can of course pick this, and why not, let's try to smooth it out and compensate, right? Instead of fixing the eyelashes mesh, just do it contrarily. We can adjust from there, right? This part is not gonna appear very much anyways, at least not on this pose. It should be okay. Then here there's still a lot of complications going on. This side view, this is much larger, of course. I had it good, right? I decided to destroy whatever I... Oh, I see, I see. Okay, so this is something that I had in the beginning. I just didn't have these ones. So yes, I can try to get those ones. Let's see. Yes, I'm concerned this is not gonna work at all. So I can always just dissolve this edge, and this is what I had original. So I can try to do it by what I had in the beginning was something like that. Yeah, it would be better to keep it simple. I just need to adjust these things then, I guess. Difficult to see right from this spot. So let it be closer. And okay, I got an idea. I can, from this thing, I can make an extrusion. Yeah, never thought about that, but just for that tipping point, right? From the tip. So this could be the best way to go. So that means I'll have some curve here, right? That will follow the shape of the eye, right? So this makes sense. It will be harder than to have any sort of interpenetrations here, although it can still occur. This part, maybe it's a bit too wrongly positioned. Need to reassess this. Yeah, maybe this is just a bit too wrong right now. It makes sense that it has these shapes, but it's confusing sometimes in terms of modeling. And okay, let's consider that. Then let's see this. Okay, so we have the shapes here. We can move them, of course, just these ones. Let's move this, then like that, like that. Okay, so these will be following somewhat the shape of the eye, as as exposed. Then from this we can work the, another thing is that I can always also try to repose these ones, right? But because this would be the rest position where the eye is very open, if I have no interpenetration at this point instead of having this more located here, it would be better, it would be safer. So this is why this pose is actually important. So I'm not touching the base. I need to try to solve it from here. Alright, so you got that. This is okay to protrude, and then we need to alright, this could go forward. What's happening there? This also could go forward. This one too. Alright, and let's do some smoothing. Augment these shapes. And okay, got this circular shape that it's looking good. Right, this is fine. And now from the final tip we want that extrusion. So we want, I think this should do. Might look weird in terms of mesh geometry. I'm not sure what the mesh topology, I mean mesh topology wise might be a bit strange indeed, but if it works in terms of shapes, that should be good. Let's mark sharp and let's clear sharp here. It's not, I do not know yet how this would behave, this tip would behave in terms of wave painting, so this can be slightly complicated, but in terms of shapes, yeah, it looks feasible. I think it can work. What kind of mesh topology this could? It's a continuation, right? Okay, it's very simple, it's not wrong, but I could indeed, what if I dissolve this? Yes, I can. This is like a, what about this? Alright, so maybe this is better. The less vertices we have to care about, the better regarding the complexity of this is speaking. I dislike that. It is speaking this one. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to solve this immediately. Maybe when this was subdivided, it ended there. Yes, okay, so we'll leave this one at least, so that I can still select this as a whole, and it won't take the one that connects the vertex of the bases. So this is better. I can do whatever things here. Okay, so this is very important. And okay, let's make some small tweaks here, and let's see, now it looks okay. side view. Yeah, that's not terrible. It looks fine, but we do not know the behavior. Yeah, the behavior can be a bit complicated, but this shape, this change of shape makes sense, right? Alright, it's making sense. Okay, let's go back. The other side is like that because maybe it's lacking some aspect of symmetrization. I remember I have made changes to some objects here, but then I forgot to perhaps lock their... No, I have relocked. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now that this is nearly fixed, we need to... We cannot right now we can soon certify if these things will work. And so just assessing the shapes. Alright, this seems feasible. Okay. So now hold on, let's see something here. Alright, let's go back here, and now the bones. Exactly. Now that these things seems to have been fixed, we go to the armature, and now I have to reassess the rest position of these bones according to the new mesh geometry that the new proposition for the mesh, so of the eyelids of the eyelashes. So let's do something here. Let's use temporarily a mask for the eyelashes so that I will be able to just look at what imports that is more relevant immediately. Sorry. So these bones, these eyelash bones, they are deformed bones. They need to start already on the same spot of the bones, and the bones themselves, these are bendy bone splines. They need to also be they need to start on a position, median point for transform pivot point. They need to be, and we'll also snap. Yeah, we'll pick these things. I'm gonna snap it onto the eye, but we need to, actually I need the reference of the partially. I don't know where the eyelash starts right now. I need to, let's check again the object modifiers. Okay, so it's somewhere like here, but this is eyelid stuff actually. I don't need to, this is not really necessary. I just had, it's not the eyelid, these bendy bones are for the, these bendy bone splines are for the eyelids, they are not for the eyelashes. So it's the eyelid shapes that these bones must control the contour here of the eye contour, right? So of course it's not bad to know the positioning of the eyelashes, but it's not required, so I'll keep it hidden. Let's pick this thing and position it as it should. I guess should be somewhere like here. Then for this one should be somewhere like here, and this last one maybe somewhere next. It can rotate too, so somewhere like here. And I could indeed augment the amount of, because this curvature seems to be relevant. Maybe I could give it something like 10 and this halfway. Let's do 6 and 12, and this just 6 and 6. All right, that should be fine. Bones is a double selection. Yeah, this one could have some more rotation here, and here somewhere like here, I guess. There are some rotations here that might look wrong. I need to reassess. Hold on, let me check some bone constraints here real quick. This is, oh, they don't have anymore the bone constraint that I gave them. All right, they don't have a shrink wrap. It caused too much issues. I decided to banish. I want to know now which is the normal. I mean the, if I roll this bone, usually I want the, oh no, for those ones the Z is up. All right, so the Z-axis must be upwards, so it would be easier for working on. So let's, on the bone constraints that I have for this system. So okay, let's keep this like Z upwards. Oh, this one cannot have upwards. This could be slightly complicated, so instead I cannot do this apparently. So let's do this instead, and therefore this doesn't require that thing that I was doing. So I'll have 6 segments anyways, and let's keep this pointing up. Doesn't need to be straight up, it just needs to be some reference of upward direction. So we pick that and we keep doing some as best as we can. All right, this is up, and this, yes, this one is very wrong. Actually, I need to pick them together. This up orientation is very, very bad, so maybe, yeah, this can be some problem here. I could use the y-axis for this one, but this would be pretty annoying. Usually I always use the x-axis, the z-axis for up. It's still going up, but too oblique or whatever. What I can do is try to approximate it to the, alright, and then for this one maybe I could position, yeah, let's do like this. And now, because, yeah, the Z, positive Z up, right, so we don't get confused with negative being up and positive being down. So this is why even here I don't want the inverse. We can work, but it will be more confusing. So let's use some like global idea of Z, positive and negative Z, right? this should work, and this same thing, this is also having some oblique positioning, so orientation. So, and then there is the role in regards to the front, right? The role, I can make some alignment here. It's not really, this is not really important, but it's not bad to have this like in this case. Maybe we want the x-axis, their x-axis pointing forward. Why not? Just for some organization. This one seems to be fine, and this one seems to be fine too. Alright, now gonna save, and then we need to there's not finished yet. I want to get now in the center of the bone, so it will be select cursor to selected. We will place this their respective, so top eyelash 002, top eyelash 003, exactly. We'll put them all to the middle, and so their starting rest position would be already at the same condition that the copy location bone constraint for this bone towards these bones gives. So we'll see that in a moment. So for now, 001, 002, and 003. Okay. Right, and their orientations for these bones, they are all facing forward, so that's fine. They are deformed bones. Their orientation doesn't really matter, but it's fine like that. All aligned is good too. Aligned all together on global, towards global negative axis, right? Which is so. Now we need to fix the bendy bones structures here, the original length, but okay, the bendy bones just have this, but then I'm concerned about all these bones stuff here. Yeah, let's pick everything and yeah, take off all the bone constraints for now. So we gun. Okay, I need to check this one by one. Hold on. Limit distance is something that was causing issues. That's why I hid it. Maybe I'll have to delete. I have to find a new solution for that proposition. And I'm still not sure what should be. But for the other things, so we can start with a okay, transformation bone constraint. All right, so the eyelash bones, they have this combo. I have showed it many times already. At copy location towards the eyelid, so they currently it's not following, but if we add it, there we go, now it starts to follow this. Of course, why it is being displaced? Alright, it's because of course I need to reassess these copy locations. Actually it's no, not the copy, not copy transforms, copy location. All right, so that's it. Yeah, so there's something wrong here going on. So let's pick all these bones and let's enable that, and then with Alt we do that. And now if I was going with that one, is it targeting correctly? Yes. So why not working? Oh, maybe no. Okay, so strange behavior here. Is anything different? No. It's exactly at the center. What about this one? Mysterious. Oh, maybe it's some reset. No. No other bone constraints. Parenting maybe. What's the relations here? Relations disconnected. Control head. No. So nothing. It's not some parenting stuff. It just, as we go on pause mode, it gets displaced just like that, while the others, oh, this bone gets displaced. Okay, so why this bone gets so now it's something about this bone that is getting displaced because of what? Of the... Alright, so it's because of the stretch tool, right? Or something about that, right? Alright, so yeah, because it's in the middle, it's getting moved because something related to the stretch to bone constraint, I guess. There's this one, there's this one. Maybe there's some wrong targets there. No, this looks good. So okay, all the others look fine, so maybe okay, so I've reset those things, they look fine. Hold on. But this one is suffering something. Maybe there's some parenting issue here. No. What's the parent to this? Oh! No, it's okay. Relations. Control eye contour top. Control eye contour bot. Okay, no, this is okay. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the parenting that. No, the parenting shouldn't do that unless the other bone is actually changing, right? Yeah, so that's probably the case. So for example, if I delete this parenting, yeah, there you go. It was the parent that, because the parent was it's hidden right now, but it's moved, it pushes it that way. So okay, this is not a real problem. What I need to be sure though is that, okay, so this is reset after this, which is not really interesting, right? So right, it's not exactly what I want. Then these resets are wrong. I need to do something about the other bonds. There's no other way. Let's see if I go on. I've already solved these things, but there are some bond constraints. There is because of a system of proportional posing that I've made. Then okay, there's a way to do that actually. If I if I place it, because it's the parenting, if I just, let's say I copy that, then I delete, then now if I just go on here and I reset here and reset here, okay, now it's fixed, and then we go and then reparent. Yeah, and now okay, it moves, but it keeps the original wavelength length. Now we can reset, not reset, place those things, copy. Okay, let's enable the copy location. All right, we are not going to touch these copy locations anymore, so I can just collapse it for now. And then this has a copy location of what? Okay, so this is the same copy. Okay, so this is the system I was talking about. So they have, let's re-enable the proportional posing system. To be clear, what I mean by that is that I have this sort of main controllers. Okay, this limit distance is the strange thing, right? It allows for some I'm not sure if it's working as expected right now, but what it does, it has different ways to move the bones in a synchronized way to get better shapes there. And same for these. No, actually not this bone. I have other bones that can do all sorts of stuff. I think they are here, but usually we use the main ones. Okay, anyways, yeah, those are some of the tip ones. So you have some sort of shapes we can, expressions that we can produce here. And yeah, lots of expressions, and it's very difficult to get it right actually. It's I'm not going to say it's easier with shape keys. Every system has its own problematics. With armature deform, there are more freedom perhaps of mixing stuff, but at the same time it might be difficult. It's not so exacting. We rely a lot on the final shape is not guaranteed to be good. That's something interesting. So shape keys are much more exacting, but they are, in some way, they are less flexible. Like we decide, oh, I want that expression, but there are, of course, there are many ways to work with that. I don't have a lot of experience with shape keys for facial expression, but I've decided to make this armature deform stuff, and in principle I'm satisfied with the result, but especially for the eyelashes and eyelid stuff, right? So except that right now it's not, it might have some issues that I need to assess. And hold on, let's see what's, of course here we don't see we're not seeing the eyelashes, so some things might be working bad here, right? Yeah, some wave painting here. This mesh was supposed to be, yeah, some things here are new, they weren't happening before, so I need to reassess this. It should be much simple, much smoother than this kind of thing. Yeah, lots of deforms they are going on wrongly. So another thing that I need to, yeah, so this happened probably because of the change of the rest position that I've made. So you see here, this is much better, a much better example that it can works fine. The idea here is that we can have lots of shapes controlling for the eyelids expressions, but it got messed up unfortunately because of that rest position, and now I have to do something that is very critical also, which is the wave painting of the eyelids. This has a good mesh topology, but yeah, I have to wave paint with the eyelids closed, so this will give more visualization of the mesh geometry that actually exists there. Alright, but I was actually working on the eyelids, hold on, the eyelashes. Alright, so let's see. So you see there are some okay, the system is not working as it should yet because all these retakes that are required. So what I need here to do is, in principle, these eyelashes, they should wave like a waving hand maybe, and they are kind of stiff, so this is not very beautiful motion, and this is because of the bone constraints in part that I am retaking, right? And so, but you see the overall things, overall it's doing what it is supposed to do, in terms of avoiding interpenetrations, of giving tones of expressions. So this is the coolest thing, right? I don't need to be showing these bones here. So it's I only need to show the yeah, actually I had selection sets here that should help for this. All right, okay, so there's oh yeah, of course it's not happening because I need to enable the transformation bone constraints of each one of them, right? So because currently they only, previously they only have the copy location row, right? But now they are doing this. Okay, so what's happening here? Interpenetrations, that's, yes, this. All right, so we see that the eyelash bones now, they are moving beyond the copy location. It's adding a transformation bone constraint, but I'll have to readjust this. For example, for this one, it's clear for me what I need to do is that I need to augment the maximum here. See, so even a lot more. So as it goes, as I push this bone up, the eyelash deformed bone goes much upper, and then this allows for the wavy motion, and this is an automation. It's still not very good, but yeah, yeah. So it's quite complex because it requires adjustments to wave painting, to the mesh itself, and to the bone constraint. So a lot of inputs going on simultaneously, as in many rigging problems, right? Problematics. Because I do not have the limit distance working right now, these interpenetrations are normal, because as I pose this bone, I'm pushing it into the eye accidentally. This is why the limit distance would be something like that would be required, so currently this limit distance, which is towards a nice surface ghost object, it could be the eye only, but then the eye has a limit of space. It's not covering all this space, and the posing, however, needs to be covering. Sometimes I want to pose it very far away, and the eye don't go far away. So that's why I need this object there, which I've moved the position, so maybe now it has a position which is not actually a very good one, and not even sure if this is working. Let's see. Outside it seems to be failing to work actually. Maybe okay, so this is another problematic, so I'm not sure right now, but it was, even before it was starting to cause issues, the posing was awkward. I wasn't able to move the bones smoothly. So okay, so for this bottom eyelid, we see that we have a mostly good result, right, for posing. It's kind of cool, this one. Yeah, so this one, it's kind of working fine, as expected. This one could be, of course, they can all be improved slightly. This one maybe a bit more, not sure. So the bottom part is mostly, doesn't require much tweaking. It's already fine. The top one are the ones that might require some more attention. So there's interpenetrations which are annoying here that I was having trouble with before, and I really don't know, did I add geometry for this? Yes, I did add, remember, I add this, so maybe it would be a case of complexifying the wave painting. I never wanted to do that, but to avoid this interpenetration, maybe this would be the way to go, because I cannot simply flatten out these shapes right here. This concavity is natural to the eyes, right, anatomically speaking, but it could be reduced, of course, especially on a stylized character. We'll see what's better, but the important thing here is that I'm making lots of progress in the sense that I've refixed these starting rest positions for the mesh, both for the meshes, eyelids and eyelashes. Mesh is all the same mesh objects as the body, and yeah, they are connected mesh. It's not like the eyelash is a separate object or a disconnected mesh. It's connected. It's easier. I found it's easier to solve gluing issues. It's already glued, right, because it's connected, so I found it's better. And also we solved the we readapted the rest position for the eyelids, so now they are starting following up with the mesh on that rest pose. And then you see then when you go on the rest pose, we get things working properly, right? But then there is, of course, there is this little problem of interpenetration that I'm not sure how I'm gonna solve right now. I have at least 3 alternatives. The one is trying to make as good as it is with what I have. The other is something that I don't want to do, but maybe improve this, maybe making indeed some additional wave painting here with, I mean, really making some subdivision here, improving this process here of subdivisions that would allow me to have more control of the mesh as it deforms. So this means that I should attempt different wave painting for this. So as the eyelashes, for example, if I go on the I'm just gonna show it fast here. So if I select this, now I have additional vertices for this is because of a solidify modifier. Don't bother about those duplicates here. Now I have, you see the wave painting here is the same as here. I should give different waves to these different layering, let's say, like subdivisions, and I should do this different differentiation to whatever extra. It's mainly this region that is suffering, so it's mostly something that I should solve, perhaps more subdivision here and here, and then I can dissolve this. So yeah, something like that. And so I need to have this differentiation here, so this would allow me, as I pose the bones, to have perhaps some different, yeah, having different waves. They'll have a different synchronization of motion. So this part will move, the inner part will move slower, and the upper part would move faster, I suspect, and then that should actually help solving the thing, but it can be more complicated. So you see, the inner part moves too fast as I pose this up, and then this got immediately interpenetrations. And the other thing that could be used to improve this thing is also smoothing out, making the head mesh, right, in this region maybe less concavity, like making this smoother, so we wouldn't care too much about the interpenetration, because we'd have this smooth out, right? So this is also in a way that it would have help avoiding the interpenetrations. But this could be bad for the character design, so I'm not totally convinced this is the best approach. It might work, it might be just the best solution, but I'm not sure about the character design. It's difficult to see what's, for me at least. I'm not sure. Often I've been struggling with this mesh here, with this concavity in terms of character design. But if I can reduce it, then maybe it could solve this in a very easy way. So yes, there are many different... No, not this one. There's this edge loop goes too far. Don't want to mess up with that. Probably already messed up. Yeah, I have to reshape slightly those things. And yes, so in order to use proportional editing, I would probably have to hide some crucial vertices there, the ID's vertices, and make sure it won't mess them up. But for now, moving individually, we can do some tweaking here and see. Yeah. So let's see again. Okay, so as I open the of course, a good thing about this. All right, so just a good thing about this is that, of course, the eye on a more exaggerated surprised expression, for example, there is this master which also would move actually something. I have to revise the wave painting. Yeah, if we check the mesh, so you see, if we do that, yeah, I have to revise the mesh. There are less. This main thing is not working very well for this kind of expression. But if I move this up, now you see there's less interpenetrations, because then the whole mesh here moves up. So this is interesting, right? If I would to do more manually, it will be some controllers here. And yeah, this is kind of too aggressively affecting this mesh here, so have to reassess this. You see, at least here it kind of works. It is meant to be cartoony, but there's something here I have on this character design hard time solving. Sort of maybe it's how I need to move this. Yeah, it's not just moving up, right? Maybe it needs to follow a path. So this is one idea I had for this thing. Like perhaps I could create a path for this motion, like a curve object, so it will follow the curve. Of course, that will mean there will be some limitations to what I could do to that. Maybe it could follow the curve on different orientation. I'm not sure. Maybe it's maybe that's why this needs some sort of, maybe instead of a path, it should a curve. It should in that case I would use clamp 2. It should be perhaps something shrink wrap to some very specific small area. Yeah, so this could kind of work. So I have currently this ghost surface that can be used for that. It can be reused many times. It could be used for these bones. They shrink wrap on some, or yeah, they can shrink wrap to that on different layers, right? So for example, there's no shrink wrap here. It could have. So this must be very precisely studied. It's a bit complicated. So if I have, for example, this thing, it doesn't need to be exactly on that position. I can change this position. Maybe it's out of not updated right now. But even if I have this position right now here, what I could do is to, you see, it doesn't need to be snapping onto it. It can be following it, the surface, but below it or above it. So this depends on the shrink wrap bone constraint for each bone. So we can play with those things. Of course, this is the shape of the eye. And so this was not meant exactly for these bones. This surface was meant for the eyelids. But currently they don't have the limit distance. It was not working. Outside, inside, on surface. Yeah, maybe because it's starting behind it, it's getting a bit crazy. So this thing is not working at all for me at the moment. So I'll just probably have to rethink how this works. Hold on, I just want to see. Well, yes, it was outside. All right. And yes, this distance is probably wrong. Everything, I need to review this. But I've got this new idea here. So it's clear that the eyelids, hold on, the eyelids, they need to be somewhat free. I cannot just shrink wrap them to the eye surface. This causes some problems. So for example, I'm gonna save and I'm gonna change the target. I'll pick this target, and if I'm not wrong, this would cause some issues. So on surface, it's not okay. Limit distance. The posing is really bizarre here. It seems locked, as you can see. Outside, let's reset position and give it a very, yeah, it's not sure if it is helping anyhow, but yeah, so let's mostly sure this thing will not work. So let's try to shrink wrap instead. I think this caused some bug. Shrink wrap bone constraint, shrink wrap to this. Okay, on surface, alright. So in principle this would be okay. So one problem that it used to cause, oh, you see that this mesh is not really, we're not supposed to see the bendy bones anyways, but you see that this could be, it's working, so this is not a real problem if not follow exactly. But in principle we could imagine that, oh, this is just fine, it's shrink wrapping to the eye surface, that's great. Maybe this created some issues with the eye. No, it's working. We can pose the eyes fine, so this is not bugging the system. For some reason now it's working, so I don't even need the, okay, then I can augment this distance. This will allow for more I guess, yeah, Sometimes there's some strange things that happen. I don't know why. But yeah, so now it's shrink wrapped to the eye. This can work, yeah. So it's not horrible, and we can also use this alignment to on x-axis. Remember the x-axis of the bone facing forward? Yeah, so you can also do that, and so this looks like in principle the best idea, right? But then there are some caveats, or yeah, some issues that can occur. One of them is not occurring, which is the bugging out of other system. I think maybe Blender got improved on that matter, I don't know. Because what we need to consider is that this eye surface mesh object, the eye surface left as the right, they have mesh already shrink wrapped to it. Shrink wrap modifiers for the mesh. And as we shrink wrap something else, a bone, a control bone in this case, to the same mesh object, this sort of combining shrink wrapping in certain circumstances can wreak havoc the rig. I had this experience and this terrible. I struggled to find out what was going on until I found out something about this combining shrink wrapping events on the same mesh object apparently, or some sort of dependency loop probably. And but now it's not happening. Now it seems to be okay. So there's sometimes I pose and things goes crazy, I think, because I pose the bone in a wrong position, like here it's like crosses the so you just need to pay attention not to do that. Otherwise, another difficulty is that, oh, if I wanted this bone to be, of course it should not be the case, and the eye surface is quite, it has a special shape. Can we just look at this one? Okay, let's assume I pick only the eye surface here, and I for some reason I'm on pose mode. Okay, so I'm locked on pose mode. Something terrible is happening here. What? I cannot see my bones and I cannot leave pose mode. Okay, let's find the armature. Oh, I hidden. Okay, so yeah, so let's take out. I was on pose mode, but the armature was hidden. Crazy, so I couldn't move anything. I can. Okay, so you pick the eye. You see this shape? It has this thing there, so it goes longer. I mean, it goes further away on every direction, right behind the eye hole, right? I mean, it tries to follow the shape of the head, and this allows that with the shrink wrap, this bone will tend, if I ever had to pose it like too far, I have more space to go. Same here, but this one is not shrink wrap, so let's try to. So yeah, there's sometimes it's posing issues, but okay, so this is working. Let's, unfortunately here I'll have to do this for every bone individually, remake their system, right? So in bone constraint I'm gonna delete the limit distance, because found out unfortunately it was not really good, so instead we're going to add this shrink wrap, so bone constraint. So these are the control eyelid bones, they are handlers for the bendy bones, right? So let's see, add shrink wrap, add shrink wrap. I think this doesn't work with alt. Add shrink wrap. No, it didn't work, unfortunately. Add shrink wrap. So add shrink wrap. Already got. Okay, so all them got shrink wrap bone constraint. Now I'm going to use the same target here, so just gonna copy paste with alt. Limit this will be, maybe it doesn't need to be the same, but we'll just see. Yeah, maybe it's the same, it creates some issues. And then align on surface. So okay, so all of them should be equal now. But you see that it doesn't work very well for, it won't work, we need to adapt individually. So this one could be, yeah, sometimes it warps backwards, so this is something which should be careful about while posing. And yeah, this can be pretty annoying in the long run, but yeah. And then there's, yeah, it's warping. So so what we could consider is that we maybe, this distance is too far away, so let's put it something like 0.02. Maybe on surface it's the reason of the warping, so let's put it outside. Don't know, maybe that's outside surface, maybe. Okay, maybe that was the reason why it was warping. So one less problem. Doesn't seem to be. Okay, so now we see one of the problems that I wanted the eye surface for some stuff like that, because you see I cannot move because the eye stops here, the eye surface. I can augment that, of course, with lattice in this case, because I don't want to create more mesh, change the mesh, because it's already got a UV mesh, UV warp modifier and everything. So this is very complicated if we had to change the mesh directly. That's why if we change with a modifier, the lattice modifier, I can change to some extent, expand the shape of the eye with preservation of its features. So this is something I found, a cool thing that I found out later. So if I ever wanted to pose this bone, particular bone, it doesn't seem to be required, right? So fortunately this is not the case, but if I wanted, I wouldn't be able. I have to disable this in the middle of animation, so I could do something like that. So this is one thing that we should. So this one also is not the case. We don't need. Apparently, it's not required to pose there. Here I would like to pose it forwards, but I can't. But we can instead just having it in a bit more to the front, right? So, oh, maybe this should be something like that, right? Yeah, but because the shrink wrap bone constraint maintains it like always on the same distance, it might be sometimes inadequate. And so unless we find the ideal, right, Okay, this looks good for this bone, and for this one, I believe this could be 0, 1 even. Maybe even slightly more, why not? 0.15, yeah, okay, that's fine. So this will help avoid interpenetration between the eyelids mesh and the eye itself, and the eyelashes and the eye and whatever. And also probably also help to not have the eyelashes interpenetrate in the face mesh. And for this one, this maybe also could have a lot more distance. Yeah, maybe even more. So we have this. Alright, so this is very satisfying in the sense that the shrink wrap, it has this alignment thing, which helps a lot. Of course, we can still rotate the bone, so that's fine. We can roll. No, we cannot roll the bone because now it's. But we don't need to. In principle, because the rotation of this doesn't control the eyelash mesh. The eyelash mesh is controlled by this bone, and this bone is automated. So what we could have here, for example, at the bottom as it moves down, so let's give it a smaller minimum, so something like that, and a higher maximum, so more exaggeration there, even more, right? Higher maximum, we can see from here what would looks good as it is at this position. Yeah, maybe it shouldn't cross, but it can do that, yes. So yeah, this is a bit weird, right? Of course, this one also plays a role in this process, and the other one too. So yeah, it feels weird to have this inversion, right? At least to that extent. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna leave it something like that, right? And this is how it works. So we can, but for bottom, I think it can go even further, right? Yeah, so this could be fine, and then we need to readjust here to compensate. Yeah, so it will be like that. And for this one, yeah, this one we can play here. Let's see. All right, this is fine. So you see, it can be very easy to work out when things are properly set, right? I don't like the way this is behaving. Like this is going too much, while yeah, it make this thing here is not very beautiful. So I think this is need to assess how to. Maybe this must go. Yeah, this push down. Yeah, that's it. Even more. All right. Oh no, we can't do that, because you see, this will affect the mesh a lot. So too much exaggeration, we must take in account many factors. So we can't play, but we must be aware of the whole. No, wrong one, wrong bone. Where is the? Okay, it's down there, right? It cannot make huge transformation to the original shape of the eyelash, right? So you must be careful about that too. Let's see here. Yeah, this maintains its maybe this shouldn't go that up too. Let's see. Alright, maybe this could take more time to make minute adjustments. Let's see. Oh, this is going to up. That's it. Let's keep it like that. Let's see now. Yeah. Okay, so there's some warping here. What's going on? This could be annoying. It depends on. Could be bad for animation. Maybe not. Not sure about that. But this is one problem of the shrink of those constraining, extra constraint things. And for this one, can I augment here? No, that's too much. So maybe just slightly more. 12. And for this motion here, there's some wave painting here. I'll address that later. Not this necessarily bad, but feel like a bit weird. Yeah, it certainly doesn't seem recommended. So this bone certainly could move way more. Let's see its minimum. Let's see the rest position. Yeah, always getting. No, it's this one. Alright, so rest position like that. This looks fine. And then as it goes up, does it need to go up a lot? Not. I don't think so. But if it did go up, it would do something like that. Is that even valuable? No, it doesn't seem very interesting. Like, don't seem to add any value to expression, in my opinion. It's curious, but don't seem it's particularly useful for any expression. The bottom eyelid doesn't have a lot of that I know doesn't need to move as much as the upper one. So let's try to get this thing smoother. This part here, maybe this is just wave painting thing. Oh, this okay. Yeah, this remaining more negative, maybe it's a good idea, so that's why it will remain to the bottom. But we must always be aware of the rest pose. Okay, it's probably wave painting. I should fix that through wave paint. So I'm not bothered here. Let's try to fix this here then. This one, oh yes, this eyelid here should certainly go a lot more. Okay, so now we can avoid interpenetrations in a much better way. If let's even give something like alright, so in a great deal it was because this bone was too close to the eye without a bone constraint to float over something, right? So now I have this is now I'm avoiding interpenetrations until some threshold, of course. Maybe this one, let's see, all right. All right. And this one, yeah, this one is also in a critical area, although it doesn't need to be. Yeah, it should have maybe something like 0.1. No. Let's reset, and then the shape now is too large of that eyelash. It's gigantic. I can solve this immediately by just reducing this. I can do this to that one, and so this helps a lot. That's why you have a simple mesh. It looks like cheating, but yeah, that just works. So this is a way to adjust the mesh properly. Then we can also, on a front view, let's just make this thing. Yes, this could go maybe like to play with those shapes. Maybe too further to the side. This. No, it looks good. It looks good. Can give some. Let's see about this. They are growing too much because of the transformation bone constraint, right? And the shrink wrap, and well, because of the bone constraint basically. So they don't need to be as a mesh. We can compensate just reducing. It doesn't compensate a lot. We need to do a lot of transforms here, right? So instead of doing that, let's just smooth this out and maybe augment this one. Try to reshape this from. All right. It's looking good. Yeah, this is requires some tweaking. This. Yeah, this certainly is not the kind of expression here. So it's going bottom too much. This one. So let's just reduce the minimum or augment the maximum, right? Or both, right? So augment the maximum, reduce the minimum. So this is not good. This minimum, there should be some minimum, but it must not be. Alright, so of course this relates to all of them. So, because they are, let's see about this one. Yes, on this case, let's try to close the eye. This shape here, yeah, there's some trouble there. What's happening to my posing? It's got locked somewhere. Okay, so this is one of the problem of the outside. No. Okay, so this is happening. This one is on the edge, so this is more dangerous. Let's try to reset. Yeah, so this is much harder to control for some reason. Yeah, so yeah, this is kind of stuff that can occur. So let's try to. Shouldn't be difficult to close the eye, but I'm having. We can have just a pose asset for closed eyes, anyways. But it shouldn't be that difficult. So here, I cannot push the eyelid closed. So this is This is very bad, right? So this is not supposed to be like that. The mesh is not following. Yeah, so this is actually a problem. If the mesh doesn't follow the bendy bones very closely, it can have this kind of trouble. Okay, so this is one, and the shrink wrap bone constraint is failing. This one is a little better. Okay, so this could be basically wave painting on the eyelids. Not enough waves on the eyelids, or maybe there are some shared waves which are accidentally made. They weren't supposed to be there. Let's assess these wave painting. Yeah, you see it's not very heavy. Oh, there is wave on. How did that happen? The eyelids mesh is being affected by the. Okay, so lots of things wrong. I don't know how did that happen. The second time something like that happened unexpectedly. I didn't wave paint that. Anyways, we're gonna solve it the next time. So but lots of improvements here. I'm nearly done with this thing, but there are a few list of things that we need to fix. So revision, one of the things is this up and down motion that is nearly fixed, but then I've discovered, yes, we fixed the rest position for the bones. We've made change to the bone constraints of this another automation of the surfing things. So now we have shrink wrap bone constraint for the eyelid control bones, handlers for this thing. We've improved the collapsing mesh and rest position of the here, right? It doesn't matter here if we see the eye, because actually there's subdivision modifier and everything gets fine from pose mode. Then we added some extra mesh here that we'll have to readjust the wave painting here on this exceptional feature, because this was, without this we were having interpenetrations between this and this face mesh here, the forehead, or this bony area. Let's try to dissolve this. I've saved dissolve vertices. Let's see what happens. Does it? Okay, there's no interpretation, but doesn't matter. Maybe we can handle these things without it, but since I've just saved, we'll be back later, I hope today, with more with the continuation of this. Thanks for watching, folks. Happy blending, and take care. See you soon.